Yep.
Alright, this is Losers Finals, and we can begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Benz.
Good
See you on
luck.
the other side.
We actually
Yeah.
check Discord so I can commentate from there, not that I'm like commentating something that's like 4 billion years behind.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Alright,
Oh, I see Ben is not going for the soup stretch here.
yeah.
Interesting
Oh, it is though.
choice. So here they're gonna put on Bash to skip a cutscene. Any Skylander works, but Bash just scans the fastest, so which will skip.
Neither of them failed that.
Yeah, so it will skip like a pretty long dialogue and like a pretty short cutscene after you fire the cannon. So, and both of the runners are using the French language because it saves time all throughout the run. So coming up here, Owen is going to do this Warnado stretch, which will skip the long North dialogue, but he doesn't seem to be having a lot of luck with it right now.
I'd say it's one of the harder strats in the game to learn.
Yeah, I have a bit of experience trying it, but I never actually landed it. So
There's only a handful of people that
and
actually
because of
go
this,
for it.
and because of this, Bensall gained the lead. It looks like.
There are 2 other possible soup jumps in this chapter, though, that could save time. I don't know which of them Owen goes for.
Yeah, it appears Bensall has taken the lead. So
There's one of those
and
jumps.
it appears Owen is going for the turtle jump. So I don't know how much that saves. I think it's around a second. So. And here I can see Bensall is setting up the warp to chapter 2. And now he's going in for the zap spin, which will skip a bunch of really long unskippable dialogues and the enemy gate as well. So
Owen also going for Zapcopter here, not doing the weird soup jump on the rock there.
yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah, it's
Because of-
not a strat.
I felt it is sure one of the strats to exist, and because Owen got that key from earlier in the level, he actually does not have to grab the key at the end of the level. So that is another small time save that comes from doing the soup jumps. But it appears Bensall is entering chapter 2 sooner than him. So although Owen is not too far behind, it looks like. It's only like 7 seconds at most.
Yeah, and then these first chapters are runners.
These first chapters are going to go by very
close.
quickly.
They've tended to be fairly close through these first chapters, even through chapter 3, but chapter 3, a lot can go wrong in chapter 3, and then we're going to see some major route differences in chapter 6.
So yeah, chapter 3 relies a lot on the Ghost Roaster launch. Like I know the first one does a Ghost Roaster launch, and Bensall's actually clipping through the final gate here using Bash. Sorry, I almost missed that. And Owen's doing the same. So because Bash has a really long hitbox, he can clip through that gate and hit the end trigger. And then after, you use Drobot for the bush segment, which I like to call lawnmower personally. And then you quit out because it skips all of the dialogue. And during this, during loading the save file, you swap to Ghost Roaster because like you're gonna have to rescan the Skylander anyways, and it just makes sense too.
Yeah,
so
it's convenient.
And Owen is going for the same strat, so I'm not going to repeat myself. So and these first couple parts of the game are also gonna have some pretty long unskippable cutscenes. So, but that is always like that. They gotta make sure you know how to play the game. Even though they have probably played through this segment like over 1,000 times already.
It's like tutorials all the way through chapter 5.
Yeah. If I recall correctly, chapter 5 doesn't really have any glitches, so...
No.
Not
Well,
really
it has
gonna
some
be...
very small ones. Like snapbacks.
I actually did not know that. Oh yeah, snapbacks.
And
And
also
here we
just
can see...
some cutscene skips involving blocking lasers in specific ways.
There we
Got
go.
was pretty quick there for
Bensall just got the first Ghost Roaster launch. And we will see if Owen gets it quickly.
He's having trouble getting up on top of that.
Yeah. And like here, Bensall's going in for the zoo clip. Will he have a smooth one or will he get stuck? It appears. Okay, that was pretty smooth.
Took 6 pushes to get through that one.
Damn. That lost him a bit of time, so it appears Owen is starting to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, it depends how fast
But
he can
not
get this
entirely.
clip.
It's gonna come down
3 pushes.
to... Now it's gonna come down, basically, here to who can get the Ghost Roaster launch first at the end.
Yeah.
And if they get stuck on invisible collision here. So...
These are the top 2 runners, so I don't expect that this will give him much of a problem.
So yeah.
There we go.
Bensall got this really quickly. Now, can Owen get it quickly? We will see. Bensall's currently in the next segment, so...
He's setting
and
up
it
the
appears
warp
Owen got
early.
it relatively quick.
Or doing 1P2C movement? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, doing
That's
that
an interesting way to...
Okay.
That's an interesting way to set up the warp, it looks like, because normally I see people like only add it after talking to Persephone. So...
That should work.
Yeah. Like, yeah, Owen is going for a different way of setting it up with Stealth Elf.
It's a fairly lenient warp setup, but there are some spots that are better than others, just because they reduce the movement you need to do once you're actually in the chapter.
And again, we have a really long unskippable cutscene, because this game seems to love those. Anyways, now they're going to skip the whole chapter with the warp.
Almost the whole thing. We just get some invisible geometry for a bit.
I'd say we can classify that as the whole chapter. Yeah, just don't get stuck on the invisible geometry and you should be good. And Bensall has finished the level. And which means that both runners are coming up to the first lock puzzle of the game. So
the first and only.
Yeah, because you skip all the other ones, because warps and super jumps are really overpowered. So yeah, whilst Owen is still going down the stairs, Bensall has finished the lock puzzle, so...
Alright, on to chapter 5.
Yeah, which, like, there's only gonna be some minor strats in here, which... I'll try my best to spot them, but I've never seen these before.
It's the chapter that has changed the least in all of the history of this game. Oh, Bensall did get a snapback there, so he got to move a bit earlier and move forward in that cutscene a little bit.
So yeah, most of this chapter is just movement and combat. So like it's not really any glitches except for like some snapbacks. So.
Owen also got snapbacks. Oh, Ben blocked that laser, which means that cutscene becomes unskippable. Just a minor time loss.
And here he puts in the key at the same time as...
Oh, okay. He
opening
did
the
get
gate.
a cutscene skipped there. There are two cutscenes there, and if you block the laser as you finish that puzzle, you can skip one of the cutscenes, and he got that. We'll see if Owen gets it too. And Owen does. Alright.
This is also a really short chapter. It only takes like 2 minutes when optimally played. So, so yeah. So they're coming up to the... so Bensall's coming up to the final cage here. And he got drunk camera. So that's just a funny glitch that can happen there, which doesn't really seem to affect gameplay too much.
If you're going as fast as you can,
get
you will get drunk camera. So it's just going through the teleporter.
He did get the cutscene at the end, so... And Owen also seems to have gotten drunk camera. And Bensall's finished with chapter 5. So whilst Bensall is finishing the last, like, chapter 5, it appears that Owen was still opening the last cage, so... That would make me guess that Owen is around 20 seconds behind right now.
Alright, and Bensall is going for the 26-6 warp.
That's going to be interesting, because that is a strat I have never seen before.
It's an interesting strat. It saves time in 6, but you lose time in 7, and later in 17 too. Oh, they're both going for it. I didn't realize both of them would be.
Yeah. So all the runners can hope for right now is that they land the strategy, though I am unsure of how difficult it is.
Now this warp is pretty easy. It removes the ability to do the 6 to 8 warp, which was really important.
Yeah.
And the replacement warp for that, the 7-8, is... It can be a little bit difficult at times. It's not too bad if you know what you're doing, though.
I have seen it, so... Which, because they're doing the warp here, it means it's also coming up. So... And that warp didn't take him as far as I expected, so...
Really?
Yeah.
It does skip pretty much the whole level.
It does skip and skip, which seems to be our skip that a lot of runners used to struggle with. But
yeah,
our runners are coming up to chapter 7 right now.
Ant skip was also just a really fun skip to do if you could get it, though. Because it looks
silly. I know Speedrunner made it easier, so because like that's also why I didn't seem to struggle with it, because I had a Speedrunner, so... So yeah. So in this level, they have to collect these statues, and a skip is actually coming up where they can skip a big chunk of the level by just going over the water in a way that doesn't trigger the Leviathan, and then they can just take the teleporter.
And Ben is setting up the warp for chapter 8.
Yeah. Ben is first setting up the warp here.
Has to spin on the edge of the water and the land in order to get enough height to set up the warp. And that looks perfect.
That is a way more... That is a way more height than I expected. I thought it was like, oh, he has to do like a few.
No, you have to do like 14.
It looks like Owen is also going to set up the warp. Let's hope he doesn't go too low.
He's spinning clockwise, which is not what I normally do.
Using Cinder's dash, they can clip through the invisible ship and skip having to do the third segment, which is one of the few skips that can actually also be done in the 100% speedrun.
So, Owen's setup for the warp was much sketchier. It was lower and further to the right. I think it should still work, but I am uncertain.
So, Bensall is currently in the Chaos Battle, where another strat is coming up, which takes advantage of a minus warp, and it will skip the Doom Shark phase, which will end up saving around 1 minute and 35 seconds throughout the entire level. And once again, this is one of the few skips in this level that can also be performed in the 100% speedrun. Except if you're me and your portal bugs out.
Oh, yeah, that was unfortunate when that happened. Let's hope that doesn't happen to either of the runners here.
Yeah. It does lead to kind of a comedic effect where you can play the game without a Skylander on the portal, but it's not exactly ideal for a speedrun, so...
Owen swapping to Voodoo. Getting a decent kill grunt, not perfect though.
So bensall is currently in the final phase, and we will see if he can land some unloads, which he might be able to.
I don't think so, Fat One. It's too much health left on both.
That one did not unload, and we will see if Zap unloads.
No.
Zap almost unloaded, so but like he got kind of unlucky, which ends up losing him around 5 to 8 seconds for not getting
catch
those
up a little
unloads.
bit here now.
Yeah. So we will see if
That looks
Owen
good.
lands the unload.
Got them all very low before killing one of them. Oh, I got one unload. Okay.
And bensall is coming up to the clam segment. He did not forget to grab the oil, so... Which is something some runners, specifically me, are way too guilty of. Yeah, bensall has just completed the clam segment and will now proceed to blow up this wall. And he's going into chapter 8, whilst Owen is still doing the clams segment. So
Let's see the warp.
we will see if the warp works.
It does.
It did. So now he can set up the chapter 10 warp by just placing Zap and going down a little, which will warp him into the magic gate in chapter 10.
I'm pretty scared for what happens with Owen's warp here.
I'm gonna be honest, same thing. So we will just pray that it works.
Oh, good.
It worked. He got very lucky. So yeah. It appears Owen has fallen behind a little more, so... So like, whilst bensall is exiting the level, he is still in the fight. So... Which means bensall gets to go to chapter 9.
Chapter 9 is probably one of the more fun levels to play right now, in my opinion. It's also one of the only ones that we don't have a warp setup in or out of.
Yeah, so this chapter's a little bit unique in the speedrun then. Well, it doesn't have a warp setup on the first pass. So you do come back for the chapter 22 warp unless that has been obsoleted, and I'm unaware of that. So
yeah, 922 is still the meta. There's a different setup
so...
for ASL. You can do 26-22, but it's not better for any percent, to my knowledge.
So yeah. So there's a soup jump here, or tornado jump, whatever you like to call it, which saves having to grab all of the keys. And there's also another... and because he was a little to the left, it skips a cutscene. And now he will be swapping to Ghost Roaster to skip all of the climbing. So we will see if he gets the strat.
First try.
And he gets his first try. And whilst I can, I will quickly drop a fun fact about this level. This is a level from the prototype of this game that was repurposed for the final game.
Oh. Neat.
So, here we will see the minus warp strat again, this is actually the boss where it got discovered on. So,
It looks like he did an extra swap there. Probably accounting for
gotta make
player
sure.
difference from doing the 26-6 and 7-8. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
it
struggling.
could be.
Second try, okay.
And now Bensall's entering the bane of every speedrunner's existence, also known as treetop terrace. I don't know if this level is still awful, but it seems like it.
It's gotten a little bit better. The last soup jump has gotten more consistent if you press minus before you attempt it. I don't know why it works, but it does.
Yeah, so here he is in the magic gate, because the warp lands him off there. I am pretty sure this is the only elemental gate you ever enter in the any percent run.
There's the air gate in 21. But that's it.
It is one of the two. I stand corrected. So here he is setting up the chapter 11 warp, and Owen has just entered the magic gate. So
Owen using Tornado's Z attack to move a little bit faster once he's gotten as high as
that is quite smart, and I have not seen that. So here comes another soup jump. I have heard this one is quite difficult.
It's inconsistent.
That is even worse than being difficult.
It's not difficult, it's just horribly inconsistent sometimes.
Yeah. So if a strat is inconsistent, that is worse than it being difficult. So, yeah. Owen is also coming up to that same soup jump. So, because it took bensall a bit, Owen can actually gain back some time here, if he gets it quickly.
Second try.
And he did. So, Owen is starting to catch up a little. And bensall is going for the minus threat.
It helps a lot.
Which makes him get the final gate first try. Which means he's going up to the graveyard for a lot of runs, also known as apples.
Oh, yay. RNG.
I tried to think of a funny joke there, but I could not come up with one.
Oh, and not pressing minus. Just going for it, getting it second try.
Alright. So, I feel like Owen catching up is gonna come down to RNG in this segment.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, like, this segment is kind of notoriously RNG based. So, I know this segment has always been problematic.
Ben's got good sheep management, though.
Yeah, so that is gonna help him a lot. He is already at... Wait for it. Okay, he didn't grab an apple, he still has an 8. He's now at 9, and he's...
I think Owen has...
almost done with the segment.
Worse apples and worse sheep right now.
Yeah. The growth speed, from what I know, the growth speeds are randomized, so that kind of sucks. And here, bensall's actually gonna say no real quick and then go here. Because it saves like a second, because he's able to skip the cutscene like that. I see one of the chatters asking if it's faster to play in French, and yes, it is. Which is why the runners are using French, so...
It is neat. It's... Yeah, this is... It's not been tested nearly as much for the other games in the series. But I think Giants also benefits from French. I'm not sure
I know Trap Team does benefit from French as well, but I'm unsure if it's faster than Spanish.
Oh.
I timed a few cutscenes, but I lost the data. So I'm gonna have to do it again. So yeah. So yeah, I forgot to state it, but the runners are both coming up to the Chaos Battle. So this Chaos Battle is longer than the one in Leviathan Lagoon, mainly because of the fact that the minus warp strat actually doesn't work in any other Chaos Battle other than the Leviathan Lagoon one. And I don't think we know why.
This, there is a benefit here, though, with... This is actually one of the few times that you can actually speed up these fights by playing well, because you can destroy the snails, and you can damage boost through some of the ones that don't have snails attached, and it makes it go faster.
So yeah,
there we go. Oh, I'm missing one of them. So it's an alright damage boost, not perfect though. And he takes the third
I am
one.
unsure what the run looks like up ahead when it comes to choke points. Are there any choke points coming up? Or...
The route's not... A lot of the terribly hard stuff has been ironed out, and these are the top 2 runners, so I don't expect anything horrible to happen. Chapter 12 still has some annoying jumps. It has 2 soup jumps, and they are some of the more difficult to learn, but once you've learned them, they're not awful.
Chapter 12 is gonna be fun, because I will have no clue what is actually going on.
Yeah. We used to have to do 4 soup jumps in Chapter 12, but now we have a warp, so...
I know Chapter 12 has been improved a lot, so... And yeah, maybe this will teach me some of the new stuff, so I can update the warp guide, so...
Bensall in the final part, and also Owen in the same stage, just behind.
So yeah, it does look like Owen catched up a little bit, though he is still around half a minute behind, probably, if I had to guess.
Unloads could matter here. It also is important that these players add a second player.
So, Bensall got a double unload.
Nice.
And he is adding the second player, and I assume that is to set up a warp.
Yeah, so the warp setup is actually in the hub cutscene entering Chapter 12. It's at the very end of the cutscene that plays after you say yes. So you say yes, skip the cutscene, and take it off and pull over.
So yeah, that warp is not possible in all story levels.
Nope. There's a similar one you can do, but...
I'm pretty sure then that is the only warp in the game that is like that.
There's a few other ones, but they're not used in the run.
So yeah, he instantly skips to the minefield here. And he will set up a minus warp, so he can quickly come back after grabbing all of the pieces.
He has to do combat with Tornado.
He grabbed the first piece, but Tornado combat, I'm gonna be honest, kinda sucks. So
yeah, he lost one of the trolls.
Tornado isn't exactly the most powerful Skylander ever known. So
yeah,
I'd argue he's one of the weaker Skylanders. So
slam attack helps a lot, but it takes some practice to get this down. Bensall got the first soup jump really fast, got the up warp, and struggling a bit on the second jump.
So yeah, they actually kind of scenery break here and collect all the pieces out of the intended order. I apologize if you can hear my keyboard. So I'm just typing something real quick.
It's all good. It was a good puzzle from Ben. Didn't get in trouble with the enemies at all. Doing the minus warp to Ghost Roaster.
Yep. So he can also use the minus warp to just instantly swap characters. So.
You swap players around an extra time in there in order to be on the right player for a later warp setup.
And he damage boosts straight for the mines, so.
We should see Owen doing just about the same thing in a moment. Oh no,
So,
got the unskippable cutscene because of an enemy walking in front of the laser.
And that is gonna lose him around 5 to 8 seconds. And bensall is doing the Ghost Roaster launch right now. So we will see if he gets it. He got it, so.
It's a good launch.
We will. See if he gets the North shut up skip, and he missed it. So this is an opportunity for Owen to gain a lot of time on him.
Yeah, a handful of seconds there lost listening to Nort talk about that Mega Bomb.
Yeah, so like, Owen has the opportunity to gain around 10 seconds, sure. Will he make the jump? We will see. He's taking a bit long to set it up, and he misses it.
Does he try it again? Makes it a second try. Okay.
He does miss.
Ben is on his second Mega Bomb. Let's see how good he is at golf.
Yep. And he misses the gap where the Mega Bomb can go down, so that is another
that's unfortunate.
Decent amount of time lost. Yeah, that loses. I don't know how much that loses, but I do know it's very painful whenever that happens to you.
It's par.
So, yeah.
So
now he's gonna perform some of the older strats that are still used, which are just some Ghost Roaster climbs here. So. Yeah. So we will see if Owen has the same thing. And it appears another warp is being set up.
Yes.
That is the warp to 14, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, the warp
so yeah, I have actually not seen that warp. I have actually not seen that warp in action before, so.
My internet is struggling a little bit right now. I think it's good, but we had a bit of a sketchy moment there.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
So bensall's entering 14 and Owen is on the first flag right now. So yeah, the warp is just gonna drop bensall straight at the Mega Bomb. So.
But Ben is not going to use that Mega Bomb. He's got other plans.
He's gonna use a different strategy. Misses. Yeah. So if he gets really unlucky here, which he might, Owen might be able to catch up.
This climb has been a run killer for as long as it has existed.
Yeah, so he lost a bunch of time there. So yeah, that's I know.
Oh, he missed the gate.
Did he just miss?
He missed the wall.
Damn. So the person bensall is really choking this chapter right now, but this chapter has always been really problematic.
Are you swapping to Elf, or is that a second player?
He is adding Stealth Elf for the warp, and so he can have high damage per second there, which actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so, I hadn't thought about doing that, but that totally makes sense to do.
That's a really nice optimization. So.
And Owen gets the climb second try. Hopefully he doesn't miss his
it appears Owen is gonna gain some time here.
Ben also using
the race
older setup for Hub 15.
I didn't know there were better setups, so...
Yeah, you don't have to set up down all the way by Urbo. There's some closer places.
I do know the range is very wide you can set it up in. So, Bensall is currently gathering bones for T-Bone the skeleton here. And I always thought his walk cycle was really funny when you're going fast.
Yeah. Okay, that's the newer setup there by the flowers. That one just did.
Which will save him like a second or so.
Maybe. It's quicker to set up, but it spawns you a bit further back.
Alright.
Yeah.
So... Now the final jump here, which he gets first try.
Very smooth.
Coming up to chapter 16, which has a ton of ways to skip the entire chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So,
portal error.
Portal error, that's the first one of the run, it looks like. That is unfortunate. Also, I just noticed he does not have his Warnado renamed to Soup.
That's alright.
I'm just gonna point that out real quick.
Or is that a different Warnado from earlier? Or no?
Yeah. Now he is going to do the cannon strat to skip the whole level, which we used to use a Zook clip here, but then this got found, which also actually means you can easily just jump at the end there, which will skip the whole level. So yeah. And whilst
there aren't many people who go for other strats here anymore. Most people just go
I think I am the only one who still uses the old strategies here.
I know that during the previous races we had seen Zook and Ghost Rister. We saw Igniter, and we saw Flameslinger. And that was in runs by Duke, Harvey, and by me. So there were some other strats used.
Bensall's currently setting up the warp to 17.
Somebody in chat is asking for a pace check, so I will get on that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's appears to be another reload to get back there quicker. So now they're going to chapter 17, which I believe the new warp just drops them off straight in the teleporter. So
it's close. You have to do some movement with Elf to get over the edge.
Yeah, there. So that skips the entire level. So
yeah, well, straight to the boss fight. The boss fight takes like 3
minutes.
And
again, the minus warp doesn't work here because the Leviathan Lagoon is the old one out. We really wish it worked in the other ones because that would make like a 1 minute time save like a 7 minute time save. And it would have been really helpful. But hey, a time save is a time save, so can't really complain. So yeah, this is probably one of the hardest encounters with Chaos, because the lasers can really rack up damage really quickly and you can sometimes die before you even realize it. Or you can just dodge them. One of the two.
There's some, for the first and second set of lasers, there's some good spots you can just stand in for most of them, and I just don't have to worry about anything.
I know Ghost Roaster is like an absolute pain in this boss fight.
There's some stuff you can do to limit how much he can move and run away from you, but at the end of the day, if he starts running around, you're kinda done for.
Yeah. It looks like Owen is around one phase behind, so...
Bensall is on PB pace, so...
We might see our new world record here, guys.
Yeah, it's possible. Especially considering that the official world record is a 58.50, not Bensall's actual PB.
So yeah, we might see our world record being set here, but we will have to wait and see if he doesn't get screwed later down the line. So, because there's still like, let me think real quick. There's still like 5 chapters left. There is still stuff that can go wrong.
Yeah.
But with like all of the new stuff, it appears like that the end game is... The end game is easier than it used to be.
Yeah, there's some help orbs. Okay, so 41.17. Got out of there at 41.17.
And I see you commented in chat that you made sure he is local recording.
So, yeah, Bensall is about 23 seconds ahead of the official world record. Which is absurd.
The verified world records.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, he is doing really good right now. And now you guys are gonna see Drill Sergeant being used in the run, actually. So, the reason why they use Drill Sergeant here is because he can break the rocks and also has a lot of base movement speed. So, yeah.
And Owen's about 45 seconds behind Ben.
So yeah, again, this chapter does not have any skips whatsoever, so...
It has one cutscene skip, which is something that has been known for a very, very long time.
I didn't even know that was like a skip.
Yeah, you just have to shoot the Habanero before it gets on screen, pretty much.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing, right? So like, yeah, this is basically like the last, like, level where you do not really skip anything, except for one cutscene. And he does set up a warp, so, because like, the 18 to 19 warp and...
Yeah, the 18 to 19 is a very interesting warp. The setup for isn't that bad, but after you warp, you have to do terrafin movement midair in order to land somewhere where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, terrafin is can stall in the air, and he can also do this like the clip that Cinder and Ghost Roaster can do, like the one you saw in Chapter 7.
Yeah, through
and surprisingly, Zap can also do that. Zap can also do that, apparently, which I was recently informed of. So
he can do that with his
Z attack. Yeah. So yeah, here we're seeing Terrafin, and will he get it? Left remains to be seen.
Nice.
He got it. And Terrafin is also one of the faster characters.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you combine him with Winged Boot, he is the fastest. And the reason why Winged Boot is not used anywhere in the run is because it causes game crashes. Which is always fun.
Some runners have started using Winged Boots at the very end, in the 9 to 22 setup. I think you'll probably see that from both of these runners.
I mean, I feel like with how short the run has gotten, you can probably get away with using Winged Boot.
Yeah,
so.
The unfortunate thing is that in addition to causing like instability and risking a crash, it also makes your loads longer and can cause other kinds of lag.
Oh yeah, I know 2-player mode also does longer loads though, so yeah. I forgot to comment on this, but because the runner skipped the proper area trigger for like the deep in the mine segment, the wrong sky lighting is actually loaded there, which actually looks kind of neat. So
Oh yeah, I'd never thought about that, but yeah, that's interesting.
you like I feel like a lot of runners are so used to seeing the level like this that if that like it being normal looks off.
Yeah. Oh gosh, there's a lot of stuff that after running this game for so long that if you actually just try to play through certain levels normally, it just doesn't feel right at all.
Yep. So yeah, in the fire battle right now, Sunburn's kind of annoying, but that's about it. And there's also another safe spot coming up, actually.
Yeah, get like a little minute of rest here if you want it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you the one who found that?
I don't know if I was the person to find it, but I believe that I popularized it. Because
Didn't they name it after you?
I told Madman about it, and then Madman made a thing about it, so that was a long time ago.
I do know they I do know when I was told about this they called it the Cory spot. So
yeah.
So yeah.
You actually want to be standing more towards the middle of that bridge rather than to the right side. Because where Bensall is right now, at the very last part of this, he's gonna take 34 damage. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, our chatter says hello, and I say hi back. Welcome to the stream.
SpongeBob is awesome.
So yeah, it appears Owen is still very much behind. So it appears going for Warnado in Chapter 1 hasn't exactly developed in his favor.
No. I don't want to pin it all on that, but certainly. It's not been playing quite as well as Ben has. But still on an insane run. Just because these are the top 2 runners.
Yep.
Nobody else is at that level. Like, they both have PBs that are 58s. 3rd place is a 59. 4th place is a 59. 5th place is over an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Bensall is currently exiting. And that means Bensall is down to the final 3 levels of the run. Which means we might see a new world record.
You're gonna see one of the newer warp setups that we have, which is
intro
of 2 to 20.
Yeah, I have actually seen this one, and like it blew my mind.
Yeah. Some of these, I'm just surprised that nobody else found them sooner.
Yeah. I mean, like, during the tournament, this game has developed a lot, so... So, yeah.
Does get the cutscene skip. Good job.
So, yeah. So yeah, it skips him straight to the last puzzle, and he backtracks a little bit to load the puzzle. So... And he will probably get the cutscene skip here as well. Though he did miss
the old setup.
Does Owen not know about the new one, or...?
I'm sure he knows about it, but...
Yeah, that puzzles me a little bit. Why would you go for the old setup? Because doesn't it lose like 30 seconds over the new one?
It doesn't lose that much if you play 20 perfectly, but nobody plays 20 perfectly. So he will take.
I know the new warp just skips some soup jumps, but like it means you have to do the battle at the end. But the battle at the end isn't too bad.
Yeah. So Owen will be going a different route through this level.
Yeah. To quote one of the chatters, what is bro doing?
And it looks like a slow soup too.
So yeah.
Very interesting.
Bensall is currently setting up the chapter 21 warp, but he's doing it in chapter 6, which I have never seen before.
It's cool. It's another one of those you just pause right at the start and it's okay.
So yeah. I wish I knew of that one during my 100% speedruns, but hey. Hey, I will do more runs for this game eventually.
See, just until recently I thought that 621 was slower, but bensall did the math and it's faster, so.
Okay, but how big is the difference?
Not much. Like, I think it was like 2.5 seconds, maybe? But it's easier.
2.5 seconds is 2.5 seconds is 2.5 seconds.
Owen finishing up chapter 20. I wonder what setup he's going for the 20.
Bensall did get the skip there, so that means he doesn't get stuck in the air gate for a moment. And he grabs the key, just fine. Which means he is going to
setup here too.
Yeah, and he is pressing minus to set up a minus warp. So yeah. Like we're in the final few minutes of the run. So
And Ben is still on pace for recorded world record.
Yeah. So again, we might see a new recorded world records today. Probably, it might not beat his 58-15. But it will definitely be recorded world records. So
it depends on how chaos is to him.
Yep. So yeah. Oh. So he's doing the minus warp. I missed that. He did the minus warp. So I'll point it out for anyone who doesn't know. You do need video recordings for speedruns for this game to be verified. So yeah.
And audio for top 5.
Yeah. It actually used to be audio for all runs, but then they changed it. So, Bensall is currently going to do 9 to 21.
22.
Which is a warp, or 9 to 22. My bad, I misspoke. So,
no wing.
So this is a warp. It appears the stream is buffering for a bit. I hope that is.
That's your end, I think. Wait, oh wait, no, my end.
Yeah, okay. Oh no.
It'll get better.
Okay. It is back. It is back for me. So, yeah. So like when this warp was discovered, it basically obsoleted like some very problematic soup jumps when it was actually discovered that it was faster. Because for a while, I believe this was thought to be slower, but as a backup strat, basically it was used. So.
My internet's still doing strange things. Apologies for anyone trying to watch the stream.
The stream is a bit choppy, but that's about it for me. Like, it still looks fine. I'm not listening to audio because I don't want to hear my own voice. Owen is losing a lot of time, it looks like, so.
He is using wing boot, though.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys at home get to enjoy the stream in a whole 15 FPS.
It should be fine now. Maybe.
It should, yeah, it just got better on my end.
Oh, maybe. I'm just watching the little indicator on OBS flash from green to yellow to red to green.
A rainbow.
Yeah. Setting up warp there.
So, he is about to skip the whole level, and he warps to Igniter because Igniter is actually optimal for this fight, and I will yeah, we are very thankful that we can now do this fight quicker, because the fight always took a while, and now it's slightly faster. I'm running out of commentary.
And we're running
but that's
out of
okay
game
because
too.
it's yeah, that's okay because we're running out of game too. So yeah, I suppose all the runners can do now is pray for good chaos RNG. So
if
yeah, as you guys can see,
if bensall gets good RNG here, this will be world record.
So yeah, as you can see, Warnado just absolutely shreds everything in here. And yeah, the person who found this thread is in chat right now. Shoutouts to Extra Hot Cheeto for finding this. So
yay!
I'll just point it out. I'll just point it out real quick. So yeah.
Thank you, Cheeto. Okay. Struggling with Zap.
So yeah, whilst whilst bensall's absolutely demolishing the final boss, Owen just entered like the main fight. So
bensall's actual world record did not have the best chaos.
So there's a very big chance we're going to see a world record here.
He got snails.
He got snails. Okay, this is exciting. Now, well, like, Owen is probably not gonna catch up unless a miracle happens, so... But you never know, this game can crash whenever it fucking wants.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't happened in any of the tournament races yet.
Yeah.
Sunburn teleporting twice. 3 times. Oh no.
Yeah, that is...
Oh no.
Yeah, so he got a bit unlucky with Sunburn over there. But hey, Sunburn is Sunburn, and Sunburn does whatever it wants. So... I really said Warnado instead of Igniter. Thank you for pointing that out, Rico. I am very sorry.
I
apologize for misspeaking. Is world record possible? It might be.
Recorded world record, I think, is, but...
Yeah, he got really unlucky with Warnado there, or like fucking Sunburn. I am sorry. I am misspeaking all over the place. And you guys in chat get to make fun of me for it.
Everything is Warnado.
Everything is Warnado now.
Speaking of...
Warnado only.
Owen just got a really good Sunburn there.
World record might be possible.
Yeah, he's got 45 seconds to get it. Maybe not. I got sharks.
Maybe record his world record.
Got 2 sharks. Got double sharks.
That is time for bensall.
That will be the recorded world record, assuming bensall actually recorded audio.
So, we're about to see the time for that. Whilst Owen is about to finish up as well. And that is... Well, actually, no, I saw the bit... I got it confused. He's now entering the final phase, so... So yeah, you guys just witnessed another recorded world record being set, so...
What was the time?
Like...
58:33.
Yeah.
So, Owen is about to finish up as well. That is time for Owen, so...
That's
GG's.
GG's. Congrats to both of you.
Exactly how I thought it would, how it was gonna go, pretty much.
Yeah.
I called it chaos.
Oh wow.
I got a pretty good chaos. I even didn't even get snails.
Yeah, I had like the best elementals, except for last cycle where I got 2 Doom
Yeah.
Sharks, and I got
Yeah.
terrible. I got Sap, and then I got like 3 or 4 like warping.
Right.
Or yeah.
Like my chapter 1 was fucking bad. I was literally plus 16 after chapter 1 because I didn't get the first jump.
Yeah,
We get
I
splits
lost
up.
And
yeah.
and I did went for 26-6 because yeah, otherwise I didn't
Yeah,
have
me
any
too.
chance at all. So
Yeah.
at least I got that.